Could you imagine a world where 6 million lives were extinguished in just a few years? Let's ponder on that for a second. Visualize this: vibrant cities filled with dreams and laughter. Now, picture them obliterated within years. No natural catastrophe, no unforeseen calamity, but the cold, calculated actions of humans. This paints the chilling reality of the Holocaust. It signifies a dark era where innocence was systematically destroyed. An era when humanity stood still, horrified by the unfolding atrocities. A grim chapter from our history. This, unfortunately, is a product of our imagination, but a grim from our history. We appreciate you in understanding this daunting past. Thank you for your time and attention. The Holocaust, a genocide during World War II, began in 1941. A period of global unrest followed the First World War, and budding animosity set the stage for an unthinkable tragedy. Germany, still reeling from the aftermath of the war and the Treaty of Versailles, was a nation desperate for a savior. Adolf Hitler emerged as a persuasive leader who vowed to rejuvenate Germany. Riding on popular discontent, his ascent was rapid. Hitler's Nazi party espoused a perilous ideology of racial superiority, blaming Jews for Germany's downfall. This ignited a powerful hatred that swept across Europe. In 1939, Hitler's invasion of Poland instigated the Second World War, but this war was more than a conflict between countries. It was an assault on humanity itself. Hitler's territorial ambitions and fixation on racial purity resulted in the organized extermination of 6 million Jews. However, the Holocaust was not an impromptu event. It was the apex of years of mounting bias, discrimination, and hostility. Jews were subjected to anti-Semitic laws, their businesses boycotted, synagogues burned, and citizens herded into ghettos. This systematic genocide, the final solution, was the last act of a long, ghastly narrative. As the world teetered on the edge of a colossal conflict, few could envision the atrocities that would transpire in the concentration camps of Auschwitz, Treblinka, and others. The stage was set for one of the darkest periods in human history. Once the war began, the systematic extermination of Jews was set into motion. The annihilation, an unthinkable act of inhumanity, spread across Europe, extinguishing countless lives. The machine of war, powered by a sinister ideology, had begun its task. The concentration camps sat at the heart of this darkness. More than they were factories of death. Names like Auschwitz, Treblinka, and Sobibor became synonymous with horror. Here, people were stripped of their humanity, reduced to a statistic in the grand design of genocide. They were a showcase of calculated cruelty. From dehumanizing living conditions to brutal forced labor, everything was designed to degrade and kill. The gas chambers, the most horrifying symbol of the Holocaust, bore witness to the slaughter. The world had never witnessed such a meticulously planned mass murder. The scale of the atrocities is staggering. Millions of lives were extinguished in mere years. This was a war against humanity. As the world turned a blind eye, the Nazi machinery of death continued. Jews from across Europe were rounded up and sent to these camps. The final solution, as it was chillingly called, was in swing. The Holocaust was about the systematic destruction of a people. Each life lost was a unique story, snuffed out in an instant. In the span of just a few years, millions of lives were lost. Each one a testament to human cruelty and a stark reminder of the cost of indifference and hatred. It was not until 1945 that the Holocaust came to an end. These words echo both a grim ending and a mortifying realization. As World War II concluded, Allied forces began freeing concentration camps across Europe. The Soviet army from the east did so first, liberating Majdanek in July 1944, whereas the Western Allies' first encounter was at Natzweiler Struthof in November. Yet liberation wasn't an instant of joy. Instead, it was a moment of shock. The world was exposed to atrocities they couldn't fathom, seen through ghastly conditions of the camps, mass graves, and countless lives lost to genocide. The liberation marked both the end of the Holocaust and the start of a global realization of man's cruelty. Trials were conducted to hold the perpetrators accountable, and the global community vowed to prevent such horrors. The Nuremberg trials, held in 1945 and 1946, set a precedent for future war crime trials. In response to the Holocaust, the United Nations, formed post-World War II, adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, pledging equal rights for all humans. This was a direct reaction to the Holocaust, expressing the world's determination to stop such horrors from recurring. The world, finally aware of the horrors, vowed never again. This pledge, born from the Holocaust, is a commitment we all share, a reminder of our collective duty to remember and learn from history. Remembering the Holocaust is not just about honoring the past, but also about shaping our future. These words reverberate, casting a solemn echo through the corridors of time. To remember is to grapple with a chilling chapter of history, an event revealing the depths of human cruelty. Despite the darkness, through this remembrance, we learn, evolve, and aspire for a better society. In its wake, nations pledge to keep the memory alive, establishing Holocaust Memorial Day. This day, marked by ceremonies and educational events, is a time of reflection on the 6 million Jewish lives lost in the Holocaust, and the countless others under the Nazi regime. It's a day of mourning and resolve, reaffirming a commitment to remember and prevent history from repeating itself. Holocaust museums serve as tangible reminders, housing artifacts and testimonies, each a fragment of a tragic narrative. These museums are not just custodians of history, they are educators, enlightening present and future generations. Incorporating the Holocaust into curriculums fosters empathy and critical thinking amongst youth, inspiring them to challenge hatred and stand for justice. The importance of Holocaust remembrance is immense, a collective responsibility we owe to the victims and to ourselves. We remember to honor the lost, to acknowledge the atrocities committed, and to ensure that such a tragedy never repeats itself. The Holocaust is a stark reminder of the depths to which humanity can sink. This episode, a grim blot on our history, must remain unforgettable. Its memory serves not to tether us to the past, but to steer us away from repeating such horrors. This contemplation is less about statistics, although countless lives were prematurely extinguished, and more about each unique narrative. Every person who suffered, resisted, survived, or perished, their stories matter. We learn from their experiences the severe consequences of hate, prejudice, and intolerance. Still, amidst this devastation, we unearth narratives of tenacity, of bravery when confronted with unimaginable hardship. Such narratives underscore the unyielding human spirit, the persistent desire to live, and the potential for compassion and benevolence even amid the gloomiest periods. In revisiting the Holocaust, we should not only recall the lives lost, but also the resilience of the human spirit and the importance of standing up against hate and prejudice. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and subscribe to this channel. We look forward to seeing you again.